Hey everybody, welcome back, and today we're going to be doing an Easter egg tutorial on the red worm Easter egg. For those of you who do not know that are new to the game, the red worm is a special boss that spawns in at the end of your match. And what it does is it drops 3 of the most valuable schematics in the game, and they are 3 of the most powerful schematics in the game. The Scorcher case, which will allow you to be able to craft the Scorcher every so often. And it will allow you to maneuver around the map fairly easily and a lot better than having to drive everywhere. You can literally just throw yourself up in the air, pop your parachute, and go everywhere. The legendary ether tool, which allows you to change the rarity of your weapon, which changes it to its highest rarity of legendary, which is gold, and puts out the highest damage output. And then finally, the flawless Ethereum crystal, which allows you to pack-a-punch your weapon to level 3 instantaneously. Now, we're not going to talk about the cooldown times here. We're just talking about the schematics and what you can get from here. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video, and let's get straight into it. To start this Easter egg, it's actually very, very simple. You need to make sure that people that are in your lobby want to also do it. We've gotten really lucky every single time we went in to do it. I think we've only had to back out like once when nobody wanted to do it. I would highly recommend you checking your lobby ahead of time before you go and you start getting all of these USBs and getting triple pack-a-punch on all your weapons and getting everything prepared for this, because having numbers here is a very, very valuable asset here, because the more damage you do, the quicker you take down the boss. You kind of want to keep in mind that while fighting this boss, you are going to be on a timer from the time you put in the final USB. Don't worry, we're going to walk you through it till the boss dies. You have roughly about 10 minutes to kill this boss. So just kind of keep that in mind. The more numbers and more damage you can put out is going to be the easier route here. All right, so up at the top left and top right hand corners of the map, there are going to be one of 2 sections. It's random. There's no guarantee as where they're going to be. It's either going to be at top left or it's going to be up at top right. As you can see in the background gameplay, we are simply walking around looking for the one that's up on top left. After searching for quite some time, we realized that it was not here. We're going to show you the location of it now. This is the location that it's supposed to spawn at on the top left, and this is the location that it is at on top right. As you can see, the 4 pictures here are going to show you 4 pictures corresponding to 4 locations on the map. It's actually very simple. What you do is you pull up your TAC map and you want to match the locations of the pictures that are on the wall onto your TAC map. And then after you do that, you want to go to the location and you're going to see a little spinning UAV thing up there. Walk up to the computer, type on it for a little bit, and then after that it'll spit out a USB. You're going to do this to all 4 pictures, and once you do that, you're going to have all 4 USBs. In the background gameplay, I am showing you guys the locations that ours spawned at. These locations will definitely change each and every match that you go into. They won't always be the same locations every single time, so just kind of be aware that the locations that you're seeing now might not be the same locations that are in your game. But just kind of keep in mind that these 4 locations are some of the locations. You might get some that are the same as mine, and then you might get some that are completely different from what you have in your. Now that you have all 4 USBs, if you ask, what do we do next? Well, it's quite simple. You do what you do just about every single game when you come in. You're going to do contracts. You're going to get your money. You're going to prepare yourself to take down a boss. So you're going to make sure that you're a triple pack-a-punch. You're going to make sure that you have all your perks. You're going to go buy you some score streaks. Score streaks that I would recommend would probably be sentry guns. Do not go into this boss fight with Juggernaut unless you're going to be using Juggernaut to take down the mega abominations that are going to be spawning. Yes, this boss fight has megas, as well as mimics, disciples, and a whole buttload of tier 2 or tier 3 trash zombies that are going to be spawning. There are going to be a lot of zombies spawning, so kind of keep that in mind. Maybe having one juggernaut to kind of get rid of the mega abomination in the heat of battle type of thing would probably be really good, but I wouldn't recommend, spending a whole bunch of your essence just trying to stock up on juggernauts. But sentry guns here, experimental gas is exceptionally good here because it does damage over time. It doesn't do like a buttload of damage since they nerfed it, but it still does tick damage, the tick damage will allow the worm to take slow damage over time. And when you apply the tick damage to what you're putting in with your weapons and your sentry guns, it works really, really good. And given the fact that there are 2 reload stations, you can get upwards of about 2, maybe 8, 9, depending on how you really play it here. You can spam the experimental gas because you can hit the reload for your gas every 60 seconds. So you go up, you hit one, toss both of them on the worm, go to the other one, hit that one, toss that one on the worm, put some shots into them, wait about 30 seconds, go to the next one, refill it, pop 2 more, rinse and repeat. That's pretty much what you do. I mean, it's a really straightforward boss fight, but this guy has a buttload of health. He is very, very beefy. So let's talk about how we start the boss fight and anything else that we could do. Also, you want to make sure you have all your perks. You want to make sure you have all of your perks. If you don't want to bring Tombstone to the party, then you don't have to. I would highly recommend Quick Revive, Jug, Speed Cola, Deadshot. Those are the bare minimums. You want to have those because those are going to help you regenerate your health faster. You're going to be able to take more damage. If you have golden plates, I would use them here because you take less damage. And those purple balls, if you don't have plates, they will one-shot you. They do not mess around. So definitely be aware of your environment and be aware of your plate situation, because if you don't have golden plates that regenerate over time, you're going to be shooting the boss and then instantly you're going to be like, what killed me? And the orb took you down one shot. It will do that. They are very, very potent. So once you have about 5 minutes left on your clock, what I want you to do is I want you to start making your way to the boss fight area. If you're curious as to where the boss fight area is, it's actually quite simple. Next to the storm, you're going to see 2 ammo crates sitting right next to each other. And surrounding these 2 ammo crates are going to be 4 of these little thingies that you're going to be placing the USBs in. You heard me earlier talking about refilling ammo. There are 2 of them there. This really corresponds with that. If you walk up to the USBs, it'll say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta. It'll also say that it is only active during an ether storm, which means you have to wait until the storm comes into that area before you can deposit the USBs. So that means that this entire boss fight takes place inside the storm. So I would highly recommend getting durable gas masks from the buy. If you get it from the tier 3 buy station, they cost about 4,000 points. And luckily, when you go, if you're spamming the gas like I was telling you, anytime you go and you refill to throw more gas, you're also going to be refilling your gas mask. Be very careful about this, because if you lose your gas mask, there is a 98% chance that you're going to die. It's in the game. It's just going to happen, because without that gas mask, you don't have the extra protection. So please be mindful and keep an eye on your tick damage. If you can see in the background gameplay, right next to my gas mask, there are these little bars. When it gets down to the last bar, that means your gas mask is about to die, which essentially means you're about to die. So go up to the ammo crate, reload it, even if it's just for your gas mask. Just be aware of it, and it'll refill your gas mask and all of your ammo and stuff like that. So just be aware. I would highly recommend bringing in a durable gas mask. What I do is I bring in a durable gas mask and a green one that I just find laying around, just in case it gets really, really hairy and I forget mine, or the boss is about to die and I'm just, focusing everything I have into the boss. So I would highly recommend bringing an extra that way, because someone in your team is going to lose their gas mask. It happens every single time. That's why I always bring in an extra. So if you want to look out for your teammates, definitely go ahead and bring that one in too. Let's talk about the activation. I talked about the storm. You can only activate the USBs when the storm's surrounding it. Once the storm surrounds the boss fight area, you're going to deposit all 4 of the USBs in their corresponding locations. Each USB has a specific name: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So you're going to deposit them in their corresponding pods. Once you do that, you'll hear a big siren. You'll get the cue, an audio cue stating that, you know, all things have been deposited, and there'll be some zombies that will spawn in the middle, at which point you could start placing your sentry guns to kind of take out some of those zombies, so that way they don't overwhelm you and swarm you. Some people like to wait to pop their sentry guns until after the boss spawns. This is totally up to you. I found out that either way really works fine depending on your play style. Once the boss spawns, it's just like I said: pop your sentry gun, throw your gas, refill your gas, throw it, do damage with your weapon. 30 seconds later, go, refill, throw 2 more gas, damage with your weapon. You're always staying on the move with this boss fight, and it's something that we always do. We love this boss fight because it's always, you have to have really good mobility, and the experimental gas doing the tick damage on top of the hundreds of sentry guns that are probably going to be there. It doesn't really take us that long, probably 4 or 5 minutes, and then we usually kill them pretty quick. Something I want to kind of remind you is you don't want to have too many sentry guns because the server will overload and it will crash. This is 100% fact. Sometimes if you know the game's about to crash, you're going to see the bosses kind of glitching a little, moving around the map like he shouldn't be doing. That's probably likely because you have too many sentry guns up. When you have everybody that has 5 sentry guns and you've got upwards of about 10 or 11 people doing it, that's a lot of sentry guns. So sometimes it will cause the server to crash. So I would recommend only placing about 3 at a time to prevent this. And because, I mean, you just don't want anybody else to crash. It's not right. After you kill the boss, you go to your reward rift. There'll be a big explosion with a bunch of body parts flying. It's pretty cool. Go to your reward rift and grab your schematics. Unfortunately, you can only get 1 schematic per run, so you'll have to do probably upwards, if you're lucky and you have really good RNG, then you only have to do it 3 times. But if you're a normal person that has really crappy RNG, you're going to have to do it upwards of 5, 6, 7, 8 times, because you're guaranteed a schematic, but you're not guaranteed the schematic that you need. You're just guaranteed a schematic. So you could do it 3 times, and you could get legendary tool schematic all 3 times. So it just, RNG plays a factor here. So kind of just keep that in mind. If you have to do it more, it sucks, but it's just part of it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.